violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
In this day and age, if you commit a crime, there's a high possibility that it will be caught on camera.
We have so many, but the NYPD releases
She called to the left.
some new surveillance videos. They release them almost every day, but it's kind of, is it having any impact when it comes to catching or deterring criminals? Jessica Formoso takes a closer look.
Violent video after violent video. Some are hard to watch. Who could forget this horrific shooting? A gunman opening fire on a Bronx street. 2 children are caught between the
And that was wild. None of this has really slowed down, even though Mayor Eric Adams promised that he would bring down crime in New York. It just doesn't appear like anything that he's doing is helping. As we all know, he did negotiate with terrorists and sit down with the drill rappers who are pretty much domestic terrorists. So we're gonna continue to see things like this, and I think people just need to brace for it and get out of these heavily populated metropolitan cities, because the super gremlins have taken over.
gunman and his target. The shooter just continues shooting. In this one, you see a woman being kicked from behind as she walks down the steps of the Queens Plaza subway station in Long Island City. She is then hit over the head with a hammer as many as 13 times.
Wow.
As she is shoved to the ground and robbed. There's also moped riding thieves and this home robbery suspect. You see him run up to the victim and point a gun at her waist as she is opening her front door.
We are under siege, and we desperately need the help from law enforcement to eradicate the threats of violence that are plaguing our society.
Wait, but they've been chanting to defund the police. Something seems off
Here in the city of New York.
These videos are released by the NYPD almost every day,
Wow.
asking the public for their help in finding these violent criminals.
When we go back to the early 2000s, we had a mantra, see something, say something. That's the police department's way of utilizing their greatest resource.
But you know, the community doesn't believe in see something, say something. We would rather abide by this street code than have our communities safe.
Which is the 8.5 million residents that reside in the city of New York. When we have the public work in that symbiotic relationship with police, it allows and affords the transfer of information to bring violent criminals into custody.
It's no secret the city is plagued
Wow.
by violence, and seeing videos like this doesn't help. Headline after headline is really getting to New Yorkers who just don't feel safe walking the streets. Dr. Darren Porcher is a former NYPD lieutenant.
Oftentimes when we see a video, it sensationalizes the event. However, bear in mind, the city of New York is experiencing a meteoric rise that's escalated to a 37% increase in crime.
Wow.
Any and everything needs to be done to gain precipitous drops in crime to allow us a better component of public safety. So when we see these incidents such as people being robbed at gunpoint, it's something that really creates a situation for us as common citizens to thinking as if we're in a state of emergency.
Crime in New York City is up almost in every category. The NYPD released its crime stats for the week of August 22nd through the 28th. Rape, robberies, assaults, burglary, grand larceny, all up compared to the same time last year. The only category that remained the same, murders. Meanwhile, surveillance cameras are everywhere, recording 24/7, yet some of the perps don't seem to care. But Porcher says it's been proven. It's often the videos and photos that lead to arrests. I'm Jessica Formoso, Fox 5 News.
Police are on the scene in downtown Brooklyn after a 15-year-old was shot in the chest inside of a park earlier this afternoon.
Wow.
Jessica Formoso joins us live at the scene with the...
Can't even go to the park without getting clapped. This is Brooklyn, which they said was supposed to be gentrified, and you had the community complaining that there were Starbucks and blue-haired feminists walking around Brooklyn now. But it doesn't seem like that has helped bring down the crime.
The very latest on this investigation. Jess, what can you tell us?
Good evening, Teresa. This is still a very active scene. Detectives combing through
Chico.
evidence. This all happened just about 1:45 this afternoon. A 15-year-old, like you said, was shot in the stomach. And just a few minutes ago, police telling me that this teenager is fighting for his life. He is in critical condition. Now, Citizen app video that you're seeing on your screen right now, showing the moment the victim is rushed into an ambulance. According to the NYPD, the teen had left school, the Brooklyn Lab Charter School, just 15 minutes prior. He walked 2 blocks to McLaughlin Park. He was sitting on a bench with 2 females when 2 males, also high school age kids, approached the victim. Police say there was an argument between them which escalated to a fist fight, and that's when police say one of the suspects, who was wearing all black and a black mask, pulled out a gun and shot the 15-year-old. You're about to hear from the police chief and a resident who lives nearby. She heard the gunshot.
Witnesses state he was sitting on the bench with 2 females when 2 males approached. Words were exchanged and a fist fight ensued.
Could this have been over a girl? We don't know, but obviously they ganged up on him. It was 2-on-1. And this is a sad state. We are in a sad state in the community. Kids killing kids. And you know, it's on 100 miles per hour.
I was standing on the corner with my friend when we heard the loud.
Dang, I thought this was a dude. These Transformers are getting better and better. Got the jawline and everything.
A bang. We didn't really think nothing of it at first until we had seen the kids running down the street. And we had walked over here to see what happened. And, you know, the boy was on the floor and we were like, no. It's kind of crazy to see it.
Now, the 2 females who were sitting next to the victim, they are being interviewed by police as we speak. Now, police also telling us that there were about 30 people at the park at the time of the shooting. They're asking anyone with cell phone video, anyone who saw anything, to come forward. They want to speak to those witnesses. You can call police at 1-800-577-TIPS. The NYPD also telling us tonight that they are going back to the school to see if anything happened prior to the shooting. They want to know if the victim and the suspects knew each other and if there was some type of interaction with them prior to this afternoon's shooting. We're live in downtown Brooklyn tonight. I'm Jessica Formoso, Fox 5 News. Teresa, back to you inside.
All right, Jess, thank you.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Janquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
Family, her attorney, and community leaders are all very vocal on this. They are questioning the actions of that officer. They're saying that he's about 3 times the size of the woman. He's a trained professional with at least 15 years on the job. So regardless of what she was seen doing in the video, they say the officer was wrong.
Wow. And this story here, when I saw this one, I knew automatically that the sister in the video was wrong without even watching the video. As a matter of fact, whenever I hear officer involved, whatever, I always side with the officers. Because for one, it is shown that the community is willing to lie in order to create a narrative of police brutality or racism within the police and whatnot. But this video right here that we're about to show you is even more evidence of you know, just these sisters not wanting to take any accountability for their bad behavior, their bad attitudes, and the state in life that they are in, man. Because you heard what they said. Even regardless of what the woman did, she was right and the police officer was wrong. No, you can't assault a police officer and think that you're not going to get your behind handed to you. Just like that sister in Atlanta tried to do with Officer Brooks, he wasn't going. And we need more officers like that to apply pressure to these women who think they can, you know, go off on police officers and put hands on police officers. No, you're going to get arrested. You're going to get detained, and you are going to be violently handcuffed because you wanted to throw hands like a man. Now you're going to get in handcuffs like a man. These super sister gremlins are on demon time.
Outrage over an NYPD officer striking a 19-year-old woman. The video has gone viral. Police say.
So you see, she struck him first, and he did the right thing. Shout out to this officer right here. We need to put him on the police officer Mount Rushmore of BGZM News 17 with Officer Brooks, because she thought she was just gonna pop off on a police officer and wasn't gonna get that work handed to her. So bravo to this officer. I applaud him. We need more officers like this in Harlem.
Detective Kendo Kinsey and his partners were spit on while they were trying to arrest 22-year-old.
Spit on in the middle of a pandemic. And these will be the same women telling you to wear your mask and da-da-da-da. Why you ain't get the vaccine? Like, bruh. F out of here.
Elvin James, wanted for attempted murder. James also.
Wow. So this guy is wanted for attempted murder. And this belligerent hood rat super sister gremlin on demon time had the nerve to walk up to these officers, spit on them, try and throw hands, and then the community on the back end gives her the full support. I'm done with y'all.
So allegedly had a loaded ghost gun and illegal drugs in his possession when police approached him. While officers were struggling to get James into custody, police say the entire time several people were interfering, trying to stop.
One hit a quitter. Shorty put her hands on that officer and he said, yeah, that's what you get. That is exactly what she gets.
Them. At one point, you see 19-year-old Tamani Crum run into the chaos. It appears she gets into an altercation with Detective Kinsey, who is then seen knocking her to the ground with a single hit.
And this ain't no racism. This is a black officer. Shout out to Detective Kinsey. We need to protect him at all costs.
The NYPD is looking at this video as well as body camera footage. For now, the department believes the detective was justified in his actions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, ski. I'm laughing at this woman. I'm laughing because that's exactly what she deserved. To get KO'd by Dr. or Detective Kinsley. And I am so glad that Detective Kinsey is a brother. I'm so glad, because then it would have been racism and institutional this, institutional that, the oppressor or the oppressor. No, this is the community policing its own. This is black men lining up, signing up, putting their life on the line, putting that uniform on that deserves honor and respect, and trying to keep these super gremlins who they were arresting for an attempted murder charge, who your daughter or whatever, your niece or never, whatever she is to you, was out here smashing, was out here giving him top and validating his moves in the streets by deleting other black men. So I don't feel sorry for that woman. I don't feel sorry for this sister right here crying these crocodile tears. Your daughter deserved to get KO'd. Let's watch that one more time.
But Crum's single hit run into the chaos. It appears she gets into an altercation with Detective Kinsey, who is then seen knocking her to the ground with a single hit. The NYPD is looking at this video as well as body camera footage. For now, the department believes the detective was justified in his actions. But Crum's family is devastated by what happened.
We're devastated. Well, tell your crazy super sister gremlin family member to keep her hands to herself and stop defending these murderers and stop dropping her little fast ass behind on the dangling of these super gremlins, enabling, validating, and reinforcing their demonic and wicked actions.
Her mother filled with tears, her grandmother questioning where was the training here.
He pushed her, she moved his hand. She didn't.
No. Stop it. Grandma, I think you got cataracts. You need to put your glasses dim on because you did not watch the same film, the same footage that we did.
Not hit him. He knocked her out. He knocked her out. He's no better than the people who's knocking people out in the street and leaving them for dead.
Some community leaders are also questioning Detective Kinsey's actions, saying they want him held accountable for the use of force.
We stand here today calling out the violent actions of this officer, calling for a full investigation of this.
Well, we investigated it. Nothing to see here. Just justice being served. Shout out to Officer Kinsey, Detective Kinsey. Shout out to Officer Brooks. In Atlanta, we need more officers like these brothers right here, policing our own. Good job, good job. GOODJOB, good job, good job.
This officer calling for disciplinary actions to be taken against this officer.
Aisha Sekou, founder of Street Corner Resources, has spent years working to build up the relationship between officers and the community. To her, watching the video was hard, not only because of the detective's actions, but she says it's the message it sends. We asked her, what The officer have done better.
I would like to see him act out of police policy. There's nothing in the police handbook or guide that says to slap a woman down or punch her down.
Meantime, the union...
What? If she puts her hands on him, it's fair game. Period.
Representing detectives has a different take on...
And she spit on them in the middle of a pandemic. Ugh. These people, oh my God, disgusting.
What played out? In a statement, the president for the Detectives Endowment Association said, criminals in New York have grown accustomed to there being no consequences for their dangerous illegal actions. But when you assault a New York City detective in order to interfere with an arrest of a man armed with a gun, there are repercussions. The family is also questioning the detective's background. He has at least 3 CCRB complaints against him. That is also a part of this.
So, and we don't care. We applaud the justice. And these complaints, what you guys got to understand, people complain about everything, especially in the community. Oh, they locked up Pookie and Ray Ray for 25 years and they violently arrested him and he just caught like 6 bodies. It angers me.
Investigation. They say they want to see him at least suspended. The NYPD, of course, is taking a closer look at all of this. For now, we're live in Harlem. Nicole Johnson, Pix 11 News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.